on the T side, pardon me, going aggressively outside towards the site dust, and it seems like it's a bit of a scrappy affair to kick things off.
It is, but BMS has kind of settled that score as he's found a couple of big headshots there to really put Mousesports out in front in this round, and it only gets better for Mousesports as Chris J has joined the party. Doesn't seem to be having any trouble connecting the dots with that USP, so this seems about done and dusted, Vince.
Yeah, it does seem that way, but when you look at the HP bars on most of these CTs, they are very low. All three of them now that still stand are one bullet away from death, but BMAS makes sure that Flamesy, one of the hot prospects from Israel, the best.
I think he still can, but again, consistency is going to be key for Mousesports, something that's really hard to attain in this online environment. But off to a good start so far on this deco here against Endpoint. What a blinder there from Chris J on the Robin, and he quickly follows it up on the Mighty Max. That is a clinic from Chris J with the scout. What in the world was that?
That was nowhere. That second shot, that flick was
testament to how great of a player Rops can be. Just the other guys need to be able to be that supporting cast around him. I mean, you mentioned Frozen. That's a guy that usually has been able to be a star player in the past. Chris J, he's had his moments, and this is BMAS, where, according to him in an interview, this is his chance to play in a role that he was more familiar with and comfortable playing. You know, obviously, FaZe, he kind of got shoehorned into a lot of Olaf Meister's old roles.
On the board for Train, they do have some cavalry charging in, and Robin will be planting that bomb down firmly.
This is going to be a tough retake here on the Mousesports, but so far they've been up to the task. They find a kill pretty early. They still have plenty of time to work this out. They have multiple kits and utility in play. Now they have the backstab from Frozen, which has unleashed Mousesports onto the site. Only now Surreal standing in the middle of the bomb train. He's quickly picked up by Frozen, and that's a very dominant round for Mousesports. They'll be able to now roll over a double 8. I mean, I feel like it's a map they've enjoyed in the past. It's just this whole year has really been rough on them in general. So maybe just getting back to their roots a little bit, getting back to their comfortable footing. And this is the big thing I'm noticing, Vince. I hate to like be talking during this moment because it's crazy, but how many times have we seen this now that Mousesports
blunt force trauma style of Mousesports, who have stomped their way into a 13-1 lead. But here we go. Is there more finesse behind this Endpoint retake? Oh no! Splattered through the smoke, and a molly frag on Crucial to add salt in the wounds. Flamesy, at least perched up, is able to get the one before Frozen taps him down. Mighty Max on the other side of the smoke is trying to deal with a defusal, but it's not going to be good enough, and Mousesports take the fourth.
I hope that they can prove me wrong, though, Vince. I mean, this Endpoint team has been a really cool story in the online era that we've been in this year. They've had some good games against some more notable teams, if I'm being honest with you, compared to the Endpoint brand. But today, they have not really shown up in the same way.
No, they haven't. We'll hope that it's the exception to the rule, though, as it looks like they are going to cartwheel out of this map. Crash and burn on Train. The derailment is nearly complete. Crucial can't make any of the deagle shots stick, and well, I mean, that last round pretty much summarizes this entire map.
Make it 2-3, full buy for both teams still in play. New control again, kind of just default from Endpoint. Been really attacking it very quickly, though, I will say, and Chris J's been able to step out for one.
Yeah, and they also noticed that Mighty Max has hopped into connector. The grenade doesn't finish him off, but that smoke shot will. Chris J blows out his kneecaps. Nothing remains of Mighty Max and Flamesy. Casualties of war. Some extra damage inflicted now to Surreal. And a no-scope from Chris J. Putting the nails in the coffin for round 6. Robin can do very little. If that's what makes you happy, Dust, go for it, yeah.
I mean, you can't be accused of tooting your own horn if you bring someone else along for the ride.
I'm not sure about that one, Chief.
Listen, I'll take what victories I can get. Even if they're self-claimed ones.
As honestly, to kind of bring it back to the game itself, as would have Endpoint. If you told them on Train, you know, at 16-1 down, you're going to lead the first half 9-6, they would have ripped your hands off. I have no doubt about that at all. And here we are. We're in that. Well, you have to feel a lot hinges on this pistol. Mouse were to take it. Endpoint are in a bit of an awkward position. Surreal, great headshot. Pretty pixel perfect, honestly, on that approach. And now Mousesports changed their decision-making. Or perhaps it was always going to be this side all along. The only player on this side of the map is Mighty Max, and that's an important frag. That allows him to keep a bit of presence up in the B-apps. It forces at least one player to look up there, while the rest of his team start to rip through the marketplace. And they will start to make a move in. Surreal, the first player to land the kill, is now circling round the side of Catwalk and sends Chris J reeling. BMAS, 1v5, back to the wall, and he gets punctured. Surreal with a 3K, Endpoint with the second pistol. And Rops ripping it out of FlameZ. With his death, the A site will follow additionally, and the two CTs that are stuck in connector have a really tough task ahead of them. Wherever they move, they know they're likely going to go down, and those smokes now are clearing. Look at this long flank from Rops. Instead of pushing into connector and trying to puncture that and constrict it with the rest of his teammates, he's going all the way around the back. He is mixing up the angles and making sure he's not playing this one greedy. He's making sure they win the round. This flank may never see the light of day. The CTs may die before it, and this goes back to a point that you raised, Dust. He's not a greedy play. He's not a selfish towards the B site where the bulk of the T's are pushing through. Oh, that's great game sense, but his aim slightly off. He knew that it was a possibility that another player would be pushing up middle. But Mighty Max holding the line on the site. Frozen and Chris J, 60 HP between the two of them. Not too much else really working on Mousesports, and Frozen sprayed out from Mighty Max. And now Endpoint have 4 map points.
After through it, though.
Doing a good job of battling through it thus far. Chris J can now trade up to the M4. Comes in for the peek, gets one, and now it's down to Carrigan, and maybe that's why he holds on to the scout. Maybe that's why he wants to keep the weapon, because he just threads the needle of the eye, takes the very tip of the head clean off the shoulders. And now can go in for more and does connect onto FlameZ, and so does Mighty Max. He peeks out slowly against Carrigan, who is on fire. Ollie and Flash out. Oh no. Oh, Chris J missed it. I think he was flashed when he tried to throw the smoke. And so it screwed him up completely.
That was an amazing utility combination from FlameZ. Definitely pick up on that. For your solo queue gameplay. It's really cool to pull that one off if you think they're playing close corner.
With that pick onto Chris J, with the flash and Molotov combination, puts A that little bit more vulnerable. 2 players now in there. It's going to be Carrigan joined alongside BMAS. They don't really have too much long control because Carrigan is basically alone, and as soon as they start to execute on A, he will turn his attention towards the site alongside BMAS. Hold on a second. What the hell just happened there? Crucial, what? Oh, is he DC'd, maybe?
I do not know.
I think maybe he's DC'd and wanted to pick up a grenade. Otherwise, I have no idea what the hell just happened because he wasn't even in the line of sight. Robin comes right out through with a kill, but now they're getting shut down. If that is a DC, that is such brutal timing. FlameZ from the backside doing work though, keeping this round alive just about. 7 seconds. Bomb is being planted and Endpoint get it done. In the dying embers of the round, FlameZ with a 4K, and Robin gets the last.
On stopping that mid portion of the attack, and that was a big factor in how Mousesports were able to ultimately win the round. And Chris J finally getting the board, a couple of big kills on his maneuver through B tunnels. Oh, that's a rough one if you're Frozen. You're Malden.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. It's a speculative shot, and look at how much pressure it puts on Rops now. It's not just Frozen that's molding, it's the rest of the teammates, but Rops holds the line for 2. And BMAS also chipping in with 1. Now the aggression from Endpoint spilling out onto the site. Robin culling Rops. That is a huge piece of the puzzle that goes with him. BMAS goes out too aggressively, and Robin carves his head out. This is a 2v4. This is a round that Mousesports should be taking. And what an integral moment this could be in the best of 3. Flashes subsiding, crucial, nullifying the first player, leaving it all down to Carrigan. Nisa lead by example, show the troops how it's done, but down he goes. Crucial smashes him, no scopes him out of the half. And Endpoint will lead 10.
Which already should have been a great response to, you know, losing Frozen, unfortunately, just through like a random smoke door spam of an op shot from T-spawn. That is going to happen sometimes. It is just the nature of Dust, too, so no fault there. Rops recovers nicely with a couple of kills of his own. But on that 2v2 retake, again, the doors are now repositioned. There was no reason to commit to running into the site without clearing the tunnels entrance and car first.
Pardon me, Crucial can take his sweet time. He wanted to go for the knife, then decides, hold on a second, there's multiple players here. Let's play this one smart. He's gonna line them up. There's one, and a second, and a third from Crucial. The Dutchman dismantles Mousesports after they get the first peek onto Surreal. No one checks the pit. And from the depths of the pit, Crucial will gobble them all and devour them whole. That is brutal to watch. Frozen, no control over the bomb, maybe shut down in the back if he's not careful from a weakened Flamesy. He decides better of that decision and starts to peer away back towards the A site. There's 3 players in pit and they all have long-range weapons. I'm not saying this is impossible, Dust, but it's damn close.
Yeah. I give Frozen's percent chance at winning this maybe like somewhere between 2 and 5%.
Yeah, that's on a good day. This is brutal. He's been spotted, so now all those players can start to move together. Crucial with that 4K. Like the 3 kills he gets on long against an fairly armorless team, apart from Flamesy and Robin. They're pushing on to B again. Yeah, I mean, you called it. The fast rush, it's worked a couple of times. If it ain't broke, but don't fix it. Rob's, though, getting shredded down. Look at all the HP bars. There's no way for Robin to know this is the case. Be looking to pounce. They have the extra player of Rops that's waiting outside as the smoke comes down. They need to be wary of that second player that's Robin, who's waiting behind the smokes. This crossfire is so good, and the flashes to support it are on point. Flamesy now pushing out there. Look at the bomb drop. They've taken control of B, but it's for naught. They lack the key component. Surreal needs to move. That flashbang nearly yielding results. But instead, Rop survives on 1 HP. 38 seconds to play with. Smoke tossed out towards the doors. Now, does Rops just go hell for leather? Aggression outside the doors. You better believe he does. And he walks past the 1 player that he needed to hold on to. No way of him knowing in amongst the smokes and flashbangs, but that hold in middle for Mousesports. They have no more grenades. They can't cordon off any of these areas. They need raw fragging, and that's something they've been severely lacking to date. Carrigan, though, comes out swinging with the AWP. They still have Crucial perched up, looking at the cross. Still plays, stuck on the site, one of which is the aforementioned low B mass, and now Frozen's been tagged down to 15 HP. 1 bullet seals the deal on both these players. Still come out swinging though with some kills, and now Carrigan standing. It all falls upon Robin. It's Robin versus Frozen, and Frozen's gonna take it. Mighty Max takes out Molotov. In return, hefty damage to Surreal, but Robin is laid in wait. This could be it. This could be the last passage of play. Big entry from Robs. The spray is good, but so is the return fire, leaving it all down to Robin, and the Swede has been swept aside. We go the distance, and the collapse for Endpoint. The time is also low. In the Molotov, Mighty Max jumping back out again. He decides not to fully commit to the window. Now the bomb has been planted, and the kill's coming through for Mousesports. That indecision.
Were that concerned about allowing the bomb plant, they just went in. Like, I think they could have let the bomb plant and then kind of coordinated their retake a little bit better. It seemed like they really just tried to plow on through as the bomb was being planted, maybe just thinking to themselves, well, we know 1 guy has to get to the plant. This is where we're going to have a guaranteed numbers advantage. And so they just tried to swarm in at that point to stop the plant and just backfire.
Force his way in, so he's going to be doing this dry. Now the flash is firing in, but it's from the tees. Surreal stuck at the back of the site behind the smoke. Has to use it in some cover. There's one. Spins around. That's a beautiful couple of frags. And Surreal may have just saved this round. Perhaps not, though, because Frozen elsewhere is causing havoc. He's got 2 already, and now Surreal pivots back into action. These 3 kills that Surreal has picked up are so vitally important for Endpoint, but Carrigan is still alive, still kicking, still healthy at 94 HP. But without any grenades, it may be difficult for him to pick this one off. However, he's up against Crucial, who's up close. Spots the first player, misses the shot, comes back in again, misses second time of asking, but Endpoint are also missing. It's a real scrappy affair.
Wow.
The kind of CS you expect to see at nearly 12 o'clock at night, but Endpoint do get the retake and do take first blood in overtime.
Yeah, it's definitely past midnight for some of these last few days. Catch more from Vince tomorrow as well. But let's finish this match off, shall we? Let's see who's going to get that spot, as we are seeing Mousesports waste no time out in middle, but Carrigan, he's bit off more than he could chew with that one. He's been absolutely rinsed by Surreal.
ENDSurreal seems to be having a second wind. He's playing so well right now. 20 kills to his name. It feels like at least 8 of them have been in the last 4 or 5 rounds. Really feeling it. Flamesy darting around the edges, the periphery of the site. Does get pillaged alongside Mighty Max elsewhere on the other side of the map. That was a big shot from Surreal. I think he may have also tagged Chris J through that first player. Robin, spoiled for choice, players all around him. Weakened players around him. Molly's being traded out. Frozen has seen him. Frozen wants this frag, needs this frag. 1v1. 60 seconds to go. And Frozen decides to pick up the bomb and head towards A. A little bit slow, though, missing that jump, and that could prove to be costly.
Yeah, it gave Surreal a little bit extra time to start slotting into position. He'll be able to spot if Frozen crosses long A or not, which will limit what he has to worry about as he makes his own approach to CT spawn. He's just slowly walking up. At this point, he knows that Frozen has to be Goose on the side itself or crossing the catwalk. He's got some utility to make use of.
Difficult. Here comes the smoke, and then we will be pushing behind this more than likely from Endpoint's perspective. Molly tossed out now. Flash in from Carrigan, and the green light has been pushed. All systems go. Endpoint need to get frags right now. Frozen is actually working around the back of the smoke and does a great job. He takes down 2 players. In amongst all of that chaos, only Robin remains, but not for much longer. The remnants of Endpoint scattered across.
Carrigan watching this position, but he might have to worry about the cat cross as well. Now the utility will start to key him in that it's a long A push. He misses his first shot. He's going to go for the repeat. That will land, but now he's in no man's land with rifles swarming. Flames hits the headshots all on Rops now on the site.
Rops with the first, leaving it all on Robin. Not looking good. 10 seconds. We go to double OT. This game is not ending just yet.
Well, let me show you what's going to happen at the end of the day. But at the same time, it's been really good Counter-Strike, and I've often enjoyed it. So I'm happy to see it keep going, at least for a bit longer. Vince, on the other hand, screaming internally, wanting to go to that, I'm sure. But it's been good CS, and I feel like maybe even you're still in high spirits, despite the marathon you've been through today.
Hey, I like genuinely really...
Probably too low to get that.
That was my childhood, man. Snakes and ladders, chess, and Monopoly. Ooh, Frozen gets burned. I think he got tagged as well through the smoke. Rops finds a straggling Surreal and puts the second nail in the coffin of this round. Doing an exquisite job with that flashbang. It's beautiful from Rops, but he won't be taking all the accolades and all the kills home for this round. Crucial makes sure that's not the case. 52 HP left. And now Smoke affords Crucial the chance to try and push out, but it won't be work. DMAS and Mousesports lead 20-19.
Yeah, Monopoly was like, you know how people say friendships die playing Among Us? Monopoly was the original friendship killer. And then it was Risk.
True. Yep, true.
And now it's Among Us. I've seen more friendships die over games of Monopoly and Risk than I'd care to elaborate on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I held grudges over Risk. When you play with multiple people and someone allied against you, mate, that I was fuming. Absolutely fuming.
You also always argued over rules, I feel like, in that game. That was like the most rule debated game probably of all time. But now we must turn our attention back to Dust 2 here between Mousesports and Endpoint to see who's going to get that DreamHack open fall slot here and now rather than having to worry about it tomorrow. Mousesports do have that slight advantage coming off the first half of OT number 2, up 2019. Just need 2 more to go ahead and put this to rest. Endpoint, of course, looking to try to fight themselves back. A clean sweep would get them the victory. A split would lead to another overtime.
It most certainly would. One more round needed for Mousesports to rise on the prize, though, of taking this outright. This is really where mental fortitude comes into play, where energy levels need to spike. Surreal continues to twist the knife alongside Crucial, and both the AWPers sing and ring out for frags. Mousesports instantly on the back foot. All 3 of them congregate, cluster together on long side. No one is actually home. They're mainly focusing towards the catwalk and CT side of the map. And with 2 smokes left, they can bypass a lot of these threats and get onto the site, Mousesports.
Yeah, the problem is, though, is that Endpoint knows exactly what's happening here. They already have 3 defenders in position with the 4th already on the way. And even if they concede the bomb plant, they are just going to be so well set up to retake this. They're already even doing chip damage with utility before they even have to show themselves. Mousesports are so far behind in this situation. Oh, my God. Of course that would happen at some point this game.
He's gone and done it. Mousesports may turn this around yet. Do not write them off. Post plant. 2v4. Suddenly becomes a trio of CTs. Make it a duo. Carrigan ripping and stripping away.